Please, come on. Pretty please.
Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play Baldur's Gate 2, the Enhanced Edition,
What is it now?
The Shadows of Arm. And when last we left off, we met up with Prince Villanati, and after a
bother
brief
someone
conversation,
else.
we decided to help him depose the king. Why? Because the king was very, very mad. Even as we returned, supposedly in victory, he was planning a feast to celebrate. A feast where we were very likely to be the main course. Doing things this way ensures that we get the most reward as well. We got the spear that the king was holding on to, we got access to the king's treasury, which we would have got had we decided to side with the king and kill Prince Villanati, and we also stole the head of the wave halberd from the prince when we met him. Lots of reward, and we get a way out of here too. We got the magic rope that the king would have given us, which we can use on the hole behind the former prince's home. The prince is now the king, and apparently the future is bright for the City of Caverns. Well, not strictly bright, after all, this place is very deep underwater. It's not likely that a lot of natural light manages to get in here. Or maybe it does. Maybe there is a single beam of light that manages to get through a very deep hole in the ground and illuminates the whole area. But I personally think it's more likely that magic is what's keeping this place well lit. All the time. Makes me wonder how these people are able to sleep well. Let's go down here. We haven't met any more rebels that we have to fight, which makes me think that those two people that we fought were actually guards still loyal to the king that were then classed as rebels because the king was dead. Let's go down here. And this area is now, completely empty of people. At least it should be. And there is a hole that we can go down to the Underdark that will take us to the next chapter. Remember that we could have avoided all of this by just going through the portal in the asylum. But avoiding all of this would have meant missing out on all the goodies and the experience. And you know what I think about that? I always like getting more goodies and experience. And so, with everything done here that we can do, it's time to head into the Underdark. Oh boy.
Things go well on the surface. The temple of their false god has been defiled.
I am pleased. My revenge will soon come.
We did not act for your benefit, Irenicus, though you did offer some interesting opportunities.
Yes, Matron Mother. Excuse my careless words.
Our first prisoners arrive, Matron Mother.
These two rank high among the surface scum, Matron. What is to be their fate?
Their presence sickens me. Kill them.
Perhaps it would be better to interrogate them first.
Journalist, what are you doing with these monsters? You are one of...
An odd way to question, Irenicus. Did you not like his tone?
I reconsidered, Matron. Your command was the wiser.
The great depths of the Underdark stretch before you, and as you adjust to the dim light, the reality of where you are begins to sink in. It is a realm of countless legends, where evil lurks behind each shadow. And though you have traveled far in pursuit of Irenicus, never have you felt so isolated. As black as your situation may have seemed, it somehow grows darker still.
I think those two prisoners inadvertently struck a very sensitive nerve for Irenicus. Have we learned his true name?
So, I am in my homeland once again. Already I feel how unwelcome it has become. My eyes are no longer used to its darkness, and my senses to the hint of the threat around every corner.
We must tread with caution, Terry. There are, no doubt, drow in this place, along with beholders, illithid, kuatoa, and perhaps even worse. The denizens here will expect no mercy and will offer none. If we are to survive long enough to find your Irenicus, we must be stronger than any of them. This is a place where we can remove Dragomir's cloak, as no light manages to get down here.
I am ready.
And there...
What would you have me do?
What is this place you have brought us to, Terry? The Underdark. This is... promising. Promising? Why do you say this is promising? Also, there's no way back, and this place is very vast. You may have heard various things about the Underdark from various other D&D games. Let me assure you, practically everything that you've heard about it is true. This place is awful. It is full of terrifyingly powerful enemies. Drow, illithid. The list of Viconia started is by far not exhaustive. There are a lot more threats that we're probably going to be facing. But first, let us level up Dawn. Dawn gains a reduction in Thaco, would have gained some spells, and gained some hit points and an increase in lore. He has 105 health. You're pretty close to a level, you're very close to a level, you're sort of close, and quite close.
Mind your tone.
Yes.
Marvellous. Nothing here we can loot?
Whatever
Let's move
you
forward
want.
very cautiously. And while Viconia says that we should treat everyone we encounter as a threat, perhaps we shouldn't. Maybe we should be cautious. Nobody here. Let's go down. Ooh! There's Carlig here. Let's... Corda Noro Rindot Saman. Lilwella Lueth Wella Ragar Brona Lueth Punt Nind. Kilorin Elgin San Ustan Ulvaconia. Of course, Malavaconia. I am at your service in all matters. Wait, Carlig. She bears no house insignia that I know of. Look at her companions. She is outcast. Aha! I shall treasure this moment. The proud drow, humbled by a keen-eyed duergar. You dare! Mordin dares nothing, I assure you, though it is simply good policy to understand who you are dealing with. You must excuse my fellows, but it is not often that those not directly associated with a house pass this way. Yes, very seldom. They do not live long. Well, unfortunate things can happen in the depths, but we do not partake in such events. I am Carlig, a trader of sorts. I am Terry Coleman. I am looking for a couple of other surfacers, as you say. I haven't seen many strangers around here, and I talk to everyone. Well, almost. Those two creepy ones were back, Carlig. You remember, the neckbiter and the mage. Oh yes, those two. Bad news, I would wager. I've seen them near the Drow City. Must be up to dirty dealings. Those old Morag Dark Elves don't usually let strangers live. Those are the two I'm looking for, Bodhi and Irenicus. I'll have to go after them. Well then, I wish you luck, though you won't be able to simply walk into the Drow City. That place will come down on your head harder than a log tunnel unshored. That's their choice to make, Vindalig. No need to worry them more. Ask about before you go assaulting that place. Might be a better way. Ha! Well, in any case, I've wares to sell if you are interested. Always looking for fresh faces to trade with, no matter the colour of shadow in you. I'll take a look. Let's see what you have. There are a few things that we can buy here, most of them unassuming. There is a Scroll of Freedom here. This is a 9th level spell, and it is really powerful. Note, cast this spell in an area where you know someone is imprisoned and they will be released. This is the reverse of the spell Imprisonment. When a creature is imprisoned, she is trapped in a sphere beneath the surface of the earth. If this spell is cast in the area where she is imprisoned, it will instantly free her, and she will reappear exactly where she was standing when she was imprisoned. This spell will also cancel the effects of the spell Maze and return any creatures trapped in the labyrinth of planes. This is something that we want, and before we actually buy it, we are going to switch out all of the stuff that Terry is wearing for the charisma boosting stuff, because we want a few discounts here. There we go.
You are going
Let's talk again.
somewhere you do
Not you,
If
you.
say so.
Ah, you are back. Do you require a look at my wares now, or is there something else I can do? I'll have a look at what you have. First things first, we're buying a couple of these scrolls. We're buying 2. Let's see what else you have, and what else Edwin doesn't know. Nothing here, which is handy. Everything else seems quite mundane. Now let's sell a couple of things. We could do with, making some money. Let's open up Dragomir's Respite and get to the bartering. We want to keep the Wand of Lightning. We will get rid of Belm. We're not really going to... Actually, we could potentially use that. I think I'll actually keep that for now. Ixal's Spike. That we could possibly... That we'll keep because we may get Ixal's Nail. What else can we get rid of? We can most certainly... We'll keep that as well. That could be useful. A Wand of Cursing, not so handy. Ring of Princes we'll get rid of. Amulet of Power we'll get rid of. 3 of these we'll certainly get rid of. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Keep the Silver Blade. Get rid of that. Keep them. And get rid of these. Not as much to sell as I thought we'd have. But there is the Bag of Holding as well. That really doesn't contain very much. But it was worth double checking. I actually think we're good. Now let us switch these back. You most certainly want them. And let's see if we can get some information from this trader.
Yes.
We're probably going to have to pay for it, but it'll be worth it.
Of course.
Ah, you are back. Do you require a look at my wares now, or is there something else I can do for you? Heard anything new about those 2 people I'm looking for? Sorry, no. I have heard nothing more about them. I do not get involved in the affairs of the drow. I'm a simple trader. Then I'll be going. Suit yourself. Good luck. Now let us talk to these 2. First, Finderlig. Been pretty busy these last few days. You come through. Those other 2, bad sign it is. Why do you say that? Common sense. Outsiders always cause trouble. Nothing more to say about it, really. There will be no such trouble. I will be a guide. No offense, but trouble may find you, Maladrow. Oh? Let's now say this one instead. Bad sign it is. Yes, for everyone but me. Yes, I imagine that is what the other 2 were thinking as well. Good luck to you. Ain't gonna need luck when we find those 2. If you see them again, you tell them that. That's the spirit, Corgan. Let us speak to Uda Mordim. I would be careful in this place if I were you. Many dangers around many corners. You will be lucky to live. I myself have seen death here recently. Even the powerful cannot escape it. What are you talking about? Who has died? No real secrets for those that travel here frequently. A trespasser that got his due from someone he crossed. Well, I suppose it did not end in death, but it was a mighty battle regardless. I do not know who the aggressor was, but I know who lost. And who was this person, then? A mage of power, I am sure, though not powerful enough in the end. A pity, too. He seemed intent on unearthing an artifact of old, or some such. Interesting. To risk so much for exploration, he must have been seeking something very valuable indeed. Then I call rights to it, and no backtalk from you, mage. I know your sort gets all grabby about such things. And his reward for his effort? Worse than death, even though he seemed willing to share. Imprisoned, magically confined in the cavern north of here. Pity. What was he looking for? Who attacked him? You would have to ask him for yourself. I know only what I have said. My apologies. There are a few things we can loot here, and I'm actually going to save before I do so. I don't want to anger these people here. They may get annoyed if we decide to check out the contents of this and the various boxes. And of course, we're going to check for traps, because there could very well be some. But I don't think there are. Let's look in here. A single gold piece. 8 gold pieces. And 1 gold piece.
Listen, Beefy.
They really don't care about them.
I've had no formal
So
education.
apparently in the cavern to the north, a mage was imprisoned, and that is why we bought these freedom scrolls. Let us pick up one of them and put it here, because we're going to be casting it.
Waiting. Yeah, nothing to it.
I believe... Oh! Well, that's unfortunate. Minor spell turning. Let's move forward a little more. A little more. We don't see them, but they must be pretty close. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save again, and we're going to see about trying to find exactly where this mage was imprisoned.
Ah, thank you for releasing me. I was sure my destiny was to end imprisoned here forever. I've never been more glad to be wrong.
You sound a little bit shady. Do I have to be suspicious of you? I probably do. I am indebted to you. Perhaps we might be of use to each other. I had great plans before I was so rudely interrupted. Who were you battling here? I am unsure of that myself, though I imagine that I simply insulted a local resident with my ignorance of custom. The value of my goal may have blinded me. Regardless, I must continue what I have begun, and would do so with your help. If you are willing, I will consider it. Hear me out, and I am sure I will entice you. The prize is wealthy, but the finding is tricky. This spot is thin, and careful spells may breach the walls between dimensions. On the other side, one might find some valuable magic, if one knows where to look. If you could aid me a bit, I would be forever grateful. There will be items enough for us both. What is required of me? I cannot lie, there will be combat. I thought I was prepared for such, but my failure has obviously proved me wrong. With your aid, things should go smoother, though your first duties would be less dangerous by far. A few errands. We can do a few simple things, no problem. I am no stranger to mundane tasks. I apologize if I've suggested anything that would demean you, but the greatest plans have simple flaws. I can stay here and begin preparatory spells, but I cannot cast the actual dimension-breaching spells without the procedures outlined in my book of rituals. I imagine it was taken after I was imprisoned. There was the vermin observing my conflict. Perhaps they took it. I cannot blame them. I am sure I appeared quite permanently lost. I will fetch your book of rituals for you then. Where might they have taken it? I believe there is a Slaverban village to the north. They may have taken my gear there. If you go, tell them they may keep everything but the book. Thank you if you can do anything. I will be at the Earth Elemental Portal, softening the area with minor spells. When you cast the spell, its powerful magics free an imprisoned mage from the depths of the earth. And we get 10,000 experience, which is nice. Now, something to note is that there are a few portals around here that, before you release this mage, will constantly spew out elementals. One of them had earth elementals coming out, the other one, air elementals. We haven't found any dangerous threats yet, but we will. Also, the music here is really good at conveying a sinister atmosphere. And here is Vithel. This shimmering portal reveals a twisted landscape obscured by large, shadow-like forms. Oh my, that doesn't sound nice at all. Good thing we're not going through there, right? We may very well go through there. And here is another one. This one also has large, shadow-like forms in it. We've barely explored this area, by the way. There is still a lot more left to see. There is the duergar encampment. And so, when we come back, folks, it's time to step further into the Underdark, and inevitably find a dangerous encounter ahead. We were told by the text here that there are drow somewhere nearby, which is not surprising considering where we are, and I doubt they're going to be friendly, especially with Vaconia in the party. So we'll have to fight our way through. This is the test of our party strength. Can we make it through the Underdark? Let's hope so. And so, I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later. Oh, this place. I've not been looking forward to coming here but there is no way to avoid it. We must journey through if we are to return to the surface. Let's just hope we can do so. Later.